Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is the 38th episode of the SuperNova Show! And I am your host, Colton Roberts. And this is welcome time. I gave a good name for the welcome and introduction, as suggested by our my great co-host of the show, Mr. Robert Kastner. So, let's go ahead and bring him on out here. What's up, Robert?
Hello. It's the weekend.
Yes, it is.
My favorite time. When we film this, it is the longest possible time. If you've ever watched The Simpsons, there's a funny joke when they go to church and they come back and they're all like taking off all their church clothes. And Marge is like, hey, don't wrinkle your church clothes. It's like, who cares? This is the best time of the week. It's the longest possible time before more church. This is the longest possible time before more work. So that makes me happy.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. So how you been?
Been good. Been busy. Have a couple, it's October. So we start to get into big stuff for holidays. But for me personally, this is when we start getting into fan league like tournament season for real. And I got a bunch of those that I'm in and working on. So I am busy.
Yes. Well, since we're already there, let's go ahead and move on to the movie trivia report.
Nice.
Yeah. So I know last week we talked about your Matt, you and Jake versus the Knights of Ren.
Yes, that did not air. So I never have inside knowledge to these things. I usually rely on other people to tell me these things. I saw on the Multiplex Facebook page that it was going to be a big weekend for fandom. And I was like, oh, okay, that means that all the title matches will be airing. No, they saved it for this week. So by the time you're watching this, that match should have aired. I promise.
Yes.
No crossed fingers, no nothing. I promise.
Yep. All right. So since I forgot a little segment that now we do on the show, since I'm such a professional,
Yeah.
NFL talk.
Oh wow, we're really speeding through stuff, aren't we?
No, we'll go back to the movie trivia report. But I forgot because it's in the order. If you're on StreamYard's banners, I had welcome time, then the movie trivia report. I added NFL talk so it's at the bottom of my list. So I just saw it and was like, oh crap, we forgot to talk about football. The Panthers won.
Panthers are undefeated. The only problem is that, and I think we probably talked about this because they played on Thursday night. Yeah, we talked about this. McCaffrey got hurt.
Yeah.
But they had a guy who's a rookie who this crosses over NFL. If you've ever played fantasy football, when big people get hurt in fantasy football, the next week, people have to pick up their backups in great quantity. So Chris McCaffrey's backup, a guy named Chuba Hubbard, who was a killer running back at Oklahoma State, I think.
That's right.
I think that's right. He was awesome there his last year. He's a fourth round pick. He is now the starter. I had a priority to get him in my league that I paid the most money for to make the most money. So I was very excited that I was able to get him and to be able to start him for a couple weeks. But yes, Panthers have a big game this week. They're playing the Cowboys. This is one of those games where it's a decision of like, who's real? Who's a real good team? Because the Cowboys are coming off a shellacking that they put on the Eagles, which means they're basically in the driver's seat for their division. The Panthers are obviously going to fight with the Buccaneers for that division. The Panthers are in first place by themselves because the Buccaneers lost like I thought they would against the Rams. So Panthers are going to be in a dogfight for that. So this will be, I mean, if they beat the Cowboys and they're 4-0, they would be very hard pressed to choke away the ability to make a playoff, get a playoff spot. So it's really exciting stuff for people in the Charlotte area.
Yeah. As a person who is from North Carolina, this is pretty exciting.
Yeah, isn't it weird when you come into something and you're not from a place, but you kind of get to be around it? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, like I haven't cheered for the Panthers in the last five years because of Cam Newton. So it's been really interesting watching games and being like, hey, I actually am okay if they win. But yeah, I know I saw you post on Facebook that you hoped that the Steelers picked up Newton.
I mean, I would take them, honestly. At least, that's something better than what we have right now. My Sunday was very weird because for people who are not in the know, I'm in Dallas, but my team plays in Pittsburgh. So there are occasions where I can't get the game on regular TV here. So what I used to do is I used to purchase streaming on directtv.com or direct.tv, whatever it was, so that I could pay for it and then I could stream it on like my PlayStation for the weeks that I couldn't get it on regular TV. This is the first week the Steelers didn't play on regular TV here. So I was like, oh, I'll just sign in and do it. My account never got renewed. And the reason I found out was because even though I've lived here for 3 years, my payment for billing was in my old address that was acceptable to get the streaming service. When I changed my card and changed my billing address to here, it was not eligible for it. So I do not have the capability. So I didn't get a chance to watch the Steelers game this week, and it made me mad, except for the fact that the game was terrible. So I didn't waste time on it.
Yeah, I got some of the scores pulled up. The Chargers beat the Chiefs.
Yes, the Chiefs are 1-2 and have a legitimate chance to be 1-3, which is weird, but that's the case. If the playoffs started now, the Chiefs wouldn't be in it, which is hilarious.
Yeah, and then the Broncos killed the Jets, but I don't think anyone was really surprised about that. And
no, the Jets are terrible.
Yeah, and then
I think that's been borne out that the Jets are bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really see Rams beat the Buccaneers by 10 points.
Matthew Stafford is like the front runner for MVP, which is hilarious because he was never, ever, ever close when he was in Detroit. But he's got a good team now. As it turns out, when you have a good team around you, you can do good things. Who knew?
And wasn't it the case that I know you don't like him, but isn't it that Tom Brady ran for more yards than some running backs this week?
Did he? I didn't know.
I saw that on Twitter, and I was like, hey, I'm not watching the game, but that's pretty funny.
Well, there was a funny thing because the Ravens beat the Lions on a record-setting field goal. The guy Justin Tucker kicked a 66-yard field goal, which was the record, but it did a weird thing where it hit the crossbar and then it had to go over. But there was a joke that he had more yards than the Bears. Like on that field goal, he had more yards than the Bears offense the whole day because the Bears were totally inept because they had 50 yards of offense or something. So that was a fun thing that I saw in memes during the day, but I didn't know the Brady one.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's interesting. I don't know where Cam will end up going.
I don't know if he will end up anywhere.
Yeah, maybe not this season.
He might not. He might take the year off.
Yeah, it's so weird. The Patriots lost too, right?
They did. They
lost to the Saints, right?
They lost to the Saints. The score doesn't indicate how bad New England lost that game. They could not do anything in that game. It was hilarious.
Yeah. One of my buddies, he posted on Facebook. It was probably 6 years ago. But he said he was like, and he shared it last season again. He was like, man, I'm really biting biting on my words here. He was like, because he thought Cam Newton was just like the greatest quarterback to ever live, and because it was that season where he did like
where
good
he scored 50 touchdowns, won the MVP, and took the Panthers to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he was like, people always praise Brady, but he could not win outside of New England. And if Cam went to New England, he'd be a Super Bowl winner.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, but okay.
Yeah, and he posted on there. He's like, I have never been so wrong because Cam was at the Patriots and Tom Brady left and won the Super Bowl.
So there's a little caveat to that. If you think about Cam at the height of his powers, he probably would have done well in New England. The problem is that that's him coming off a couple additional surgeries and injuries, and he's a little bit older. If you got 2015 Cam and you put him in 2020 New England, I don't know if they don't win the Super Bowl, but they're exciting, and he can actually throw the ball. He couldn't throw the ball last year. That was a problem. It's a problem when you're a quarterback and your main objective is to throw the ball and you can't do it. It's not good.
Yeah, no. So I have a question. Like, I don't like to get political on my show, but as a Steelers fan, what's your opinion on that entire that thing with Ben and the girl that came in?
Oh, he's not a good person. He's tried to change and he's been a better person since that incident, but you cannot deny the fact that happened. He got suspended for it. The Steelers still went 3-1 and almost went 4-0 without him, which was also funny that year. I was in college when that happened. And no, he's not a good person. I don't root for Ben the person. I root for Ben the football player. I can compartmentalize the two.
Yeah, like I know because was he
sorry, let me back that up. I don't really root for Ben the football player as much anymore because he pisses me off right now. But before I did.
But was he convicted?
No, it was hush hush. That got settled. Nothing ever happened for that criminally.
Okay, because I know it's kind of like the same story about Kobe, right?
Yeah, it's very, very similar. Ben just didn't have a very expensive and media-centric trial that he went to.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people praise Kobe as whatever, which is probably since his passing. People.
Yeah, I mean, when you expire, people tend to forget about the bad stuff you did.
Yeah. Same thing with I don't have an opinion on the Michael Jackson stuff or the O.J. Simpson stuff. I think.
But I mean, O.J.'s still alive.
Yeah, the fact that me and my dad talk about it, the fact that his attorney did that famous line and the court allowed him to do that because obviously the blood would shrink up the glove.
Yeah. So
his hand wouldn't fit in it anymore.
The dumbest thing ever. But
the fact that judge let him do it is so.
Did you ever watch The People versus O.J. Simpson?
I have not had the chance to.
Okay. I watched a bit of it, and while Cuba Gooding looks nothing like O.J. Simpson whatsoever, it's such a good show.
It's on Netflix.
It was on FX, and I think it's on Netflix now. Yeah. Yeah, if you get a chance, watch it. My wife and I are in the middle of watching, because it's an anthology series like American Horror Story.
Yeah.
First season was that. The second season was the murder of Versace. And this one that we're watching is the impeachment trial for Bill Clinton. But the court really got rear-ended by Johnny Cochran in that trial. He just was able to do whatever he wanted. It was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, that's sure is something. So
back to your original question. No, I don't. I don't like Ben as a person. I'm glad he has kids and he found God or whatever, but he still has that in his back pocket. I mean, he rode a motorcycle as a 20-year-old without a helmet, which you can do in Pennsylvania, but he crashed and almost killed himself.
Yeah,
that happened because he was an idiot. He was an idiot kid is the problem. He's
Yeah.
still an idiot, but he's matured a bit, which helps when you're an idiot.
Yeah. All right. So before we move on to the movie trivia report, do you have anything else to say about the NFL?
So week 3, week 4, it used to be when there were 16 games, coaches would separate out like in quarters. Like that's how they would take the season: first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. Now that we have a 17th game, it kind of ruins that symmetry. But usually around this time, 3-4 weeks in, people start to think they know what they know about the teams. It doesn't always hold. So I think most people thought before the season, I think a majority of people thought a Bills Rams Super Bowl was probably the most likely outcome, or Rams Chiefs. It's probably going to end up one of those two ways. I mean, the Bucks might get in it. The Bucks still have something to say. I mean, the Bucks were 7-5 last year at one point, and they won 8 straight games and won the Super Bowl. So, but I think a lot of people feel pretty good about their preseason bets because stuff is starting to bear out the way they thought, because we're 3-4 weeks in, and that's usually when people start having opinions. So if the Panthers are 4-0, says a lot about them.
Yeah. So why did they add the extra game? This
money. Players didn't want it. Players have a hard time recovering every week, and then they added more Thursday night games, and people hate having to recover, like play on a Sunday and then have to play on a Thursday, even though they get the extra time off the next week. 4 days, it opens you up to a bevy of injuries, but owners wanted more money. So, I mean, I won't shy away that I like having more football, but it's bad for people's health.
So I saw someone post, I think it was a YouTuber. They were talking about, someone asked him if he had Jeff Bezos' money, what he would do. He was like, buy every NFL team, every single one, and then just have a monopoly on that. But then I'm like,
I mean, you're not allowed. They have those cross sports things where you can't have teams in certain sports to have that kind of monopoly, which is, I always thought was weird, but that's how Sherman antitrust laws work, I guess.
Yeah.
I would definitely, if I had Jeff Bezos money, I would have a team in every league if I could.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely wouldn't have build a rocket that's phallic shaped and go to space. And
he's a Bond villain.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say he is Lex Luthor.
I mean, insert analogy here. He's a Bond villain. He's Lex Luthor. He's something.
He could be Tony Stark, but he is not.
No. Jeff Bezos has never been as clever, funny, or charming as Tony Stark.
Yeah, I'm just saying, he has the money, $200 billion.
Mm-hmm. He lost half of it in a divorce.
Yeah. That was such a weird thing. I saw it was the top 10 richest people, and it was Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, Bill Gates, founder of Microsoft, and then it was Jeff Bezos' wife, divorced Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's so sad.
Well, I mean, can't make it work. You didn't have a prenup. I don't know how Jeff Bezos got married and didn't have a prenup, but
I guess because he probably got married in the 70s or whatever, and before he got super rich, so he probably didn't think about it. And when you're with someone for that long, you don't think, hey, you want to sign a prenup now? Or, hey, they'll never leave me.
I mean, when you have that much money, people, people have delusions of grandeur, obviously, but people also think that bad things can't happen to them ever.
Yep. Okay, so let's move on from NFL talk.
Yes.
So I have a question.
Okay.
We talked a little bit about it, a little bit. So you played Dungeons and Dragons when you went to boarding school, right?
Yeah, I didn't continue it in college, and I had people who I used to work with who would do it on Tuesday nights, but I didn't join them. But yes.
Do you remember what class did you play? Race, whatever.
I think I was a half elf once. I think I was a dwarf once. I think I was a human once.
Okay. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of watching videos for that because, like, me and my best friend and my kids play D&D.
Oh, you
And
play with your kids? That's dope, man. That's real cool.
it's so fun. Like, it does get to the point where, like, my best friend is running a campaign with us, and they don't want to talk. So it's a lot of me just talking to him and me being like, because I'm a sorcerer, so my charisma is really high. So I'm a natural talker. So I've already told him in advance, like the next campaign that we play, I'm gonna be either a cleric or something that has low charisma because I will not be the one talking. So they need to get used to that. But yeah, it's loads of fun. And like since me and my wife are having a baby, I already told her, I was like, we got another D&D player.
I think the one campaign, the group I played with, I think I was like a halfling rogue.
Oh.
It was halfling or half elf rogue, I think is what I played. And then I was a barbarian once, I believe, like a warrior. And then I don't think I ever was like a mage or anything like sorcerer or anything like that.
Yeah, I've been playing for about 4 years now, and I've been playing a mage most of the time.
Nice.
And I told him, I was like, yeah, like my oldest son, he wants to play a wizard next. And I was like, great, because I do not want to be any type of like spellcaster like that because
you have to think about things so differently than everybody else.
Yeah, but I kind of want to like just be a sword and board.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
when you're a sorcerer, you have to think about how your characteristics have to differ from everybody else's, how your strategy has to differ from everybody else's. It's kind of like you're in your own world.
Yeah, and like I'm so much more powerful than because I've been playing for a long time. So not only am I more powerful than both my sons, but my character is also really powerful. Like we're all the same level, but like he has so much stuff that he can do, and I'm just like, man, I could do this, but sometimes I want to let them do their own thing, which then takes longer. But yeah, like I'm gonna be ready to just like run up there and murder some stuff or whatever on the next one. But yeah, yeah, I love that game. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about that recently.
I mean, the most famous celebrity who plays D&D, who's out there all the time talking about it, is the Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah, Joe Manganiello.
Joe Manganiello. He's so cool. He's the coolest guy. I swear to God.
Yeah, and he's
the coolest guy. He was Flash Thompson, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. My wife has a huge crush on him.
Of course.
And I've shown him pictures of him in the first Spider-Man, and she's like, "Yeah, I don't like that."
No, I mean, I remember him telling stories about like how they were all like in their 20s, mid-20s, and Kirsten Dunst just turned 18, so she was more like a high school person than any of them.
Yeah, I think Toby was.
He was like 25 or 23. He was.
Yeah, like during the film,
he was particularly old by the time Spider-Man 3 came around.
Yeah, because he was in his mid-30s once Spider-Man 3 came around, right?
Really? Oh, so he was like 27?
Yeah, I think
20s when.
Well, because they probably started filming in 2000.
Yeah.
So he was probably 25, but when it came out, he was 27, I think.
Yikes, dog.
Yeah.
Although if I shaved all this, I could pass for like 17. So.
Oh, I absolutely could. Like if I shaved my entire face, I would look like a 12-year-old.
Yeah, my wife likes this because it ages me up so that I look age appropriate.
Yeah, same. Like my wife will not let me go babyface for anything. She's like, yeah, I'm not going to look at you for like 3 weeks. And whenever I accidentally shave it too low, she'll just laugh at me.
I looked when I did this last weekend. I looked at it and I thought it looked good, and then I looked at it again and I was like, I don't like how this looks because I have more hair. You know, I have a big mop of hair, so it's very stark in contrast. And I was like,
yeah. She always tells me that if I want to get my hair cut or if I want to shave, I have to get my hair cut first. Because the same thing, like if my hair is really long and I shave my face, she'll be like, yeah, no, you look ridiculous. Go get a haircut. But yeah, like, there we go. All right. The movie trivia report.
yes.
So, we had some interesting things in the Schmodown.
Yes. I blitzed through them prior to this recording. So, but I am up on it, so I know what happened.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of
Laura Kelly played the Knight.
Yep.
Whiteley is his name.
Yeah,
Whiteley? Eric Whiteley, and that was one of the more normal Star Wars matches you'll see, and by that I mean people actually like missed questions.
Yeah, that's another one of those examples. Like there were definitely questions in there. I was just like, nope. I had no idea.
Who knows who voiced TC-14? Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, no.
Or the name of, I always wanted to learn the name of the singer in Solo, but I just don't care enough. It's never gonna pop up in anything I need to know. I thought about learning it though, and I heard it, and I was like, I'm never gonna remember that.
Yeah, and then of course, I'm trying to think what was yesterday's match. Oh yeah,
the big upset match.
Yeah, King Arthur,
which is the weirdest name I've ever heard in my life, but okay.
beat Final Exam, and Final Exam broke up.
I mean, that was brewing, right? I mean, you could tell
like
how things were like that was going to happen.
Unfortunately, like I saw, because I was watching it a little bit later, but the live chat was still running, so I clicked on the live chat accidentally because I'm stupid. And I saw that they had broken up. And so, but I had never gotten to the point where I've seen who walked, I don't know what the circumstances of the breakup was. Who said, yeah, we're not being a team anymore? Was it Winston or was it?
I didn't watch that part, honestly.
Yeah, I didn't watch it either, but I saw that and then a post in the Facebook group that was talking about the team being dissolved, and I was like, I mean, it's about time. They lost 2 in a row, so that's the...
I mean, you could tell how frustrated Paul was by some of the misses that Lon had. Was it in the title match or the number 1 contender match? You could tell. Like, he was so frustrated by stuff that happened.
Yeah, and this makes me even more think that next weekend he's going to be in New York. Yeah.
Okay.
He's definitely not cashing in with like that.
I mean, he has to do it then, or he has to do it immediately following up from the singles tournament.
Yeah, like if he does it, he could do it at Spectacular theoretically.
I would imagine. So if that's the case, my bet would be it would be at Spectacular.
Yeah, I guess because I don't know if they would put it now and hope that someone from Corruption doesn't win the tournament. Or they could wait, let Corruption get the automatic.
Wait. I don't think Corruption's going to win the tournament.
Well, I don't either. Now that they had the Dan versus Collins 3 match, and Dan won.
Okay.
So they had that exhibition match, which makes me seem like there's no one in Corruption who can win the tournament.
No.
And
it would only be Collins. It's definitely not going to be Mike.
Yeah, no, it definitely won't be Mike. And
although if he does it, I'll eat my words and I will mea culpa on this show for sure. But I don't believe he can win it.
No.
He had his chance for Mikey 3 belts. He was right there and he blew it.
Yep.
He blew. I mean, he lost to the champion, right? He lost to the eventual champion. So what are you gonna do? But he blew it.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with being Mikey 2 belts. Not a lot of people had 2 belts.
Yeah. Like. So let's rewind it. Let's say it's Friday night at approximately 7:47 Eastern time.
Okay.
Saul versus Robert Parker. It's gonna air. I think it's like Battlefield, but it could be Versus. I don't remember the name of it. I did send it to you.
You did. It is a Throwdown.
Throwdown. Okay. But yeah, so that's gonna happen. So we're both choosing Robert Parker, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, I don't think Amaru's gonna appear on the show before the match, which I think the match comes out the 22nd. I have the.
Damn, he's going radio silent that whole time.
I would figure that he would be. Yeah, the 22nd. Because he said that he's been so busy, he might come on, but he hasn't said when he's going to or not. So I'm not expecting it, but yeah. So the 22nd is when his match airs. So like, I was thinking about it. I was like, so this is like Schrodinger's cat. Like either Amaru is or is not the champion at this time. We don't know. Like obviously there are people like Anthony who knows out there, and other people.
Anthony, Ryan, Antonio.
Yeah, like there's people that know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we do not, and I refuse to make a prediction on it. But it's like Schrodinger's cat. He is the champion or he is not. And until we open the box on the 22nd, we won't know. So, but yeah, I think Parker's got it. Like, there's no way. There's no way. Like, even the curse that is Colton Roberts cannot do that. Like, Saul is not good enough.
No, he's not good.
Like,
we talked about it before, but if you believe that if you are of the mind that you think Parker is better than Rue and Mike, then there's no way that Saul can be Parker.
Yeah, no. Like straight up, next week, if Parker beats or it loses to Saul tonight, I don't know what I'm going to do on the show, but I won't have any guests. I will do 30 minutes straight of me on the show by myself. I will not invite any guests. You can keep me to that, and I will find ways to talk by myself for 30 minutes. So, yeah, at least 30 minutes. But, like, it's not going to happen. It's not. But, and let's see. And then Bibiani beat the Tyrant.
Yep. That was the only in-person match of the week.
Yep. And trying to think if there's...
He impressed me a lot, Bibiani did, with that Oscars category that he ran through. Those are hard Oscar questions. As someone who does Oscar stuff a bit, those are hard ones.
Okay. So I know, like, now we can go into some fan league stuff. I know, like, I asked you before this because obviously, like, I forget when they taped your match with Joe.
Okay.
So, like, I was sitting there looking at it, and I was like, you and Joe aren't in this team's bracket.
No.
Which, by the way, I don't think any other league has a geek teams thing.
No.
So I was thinking,
I mean, they did the in Full Metal last year. They did that thing where they did like the factions.
Yeah, they did like 5-on-5, right?
Yeah, 5-on-5, and then whoever won between that, the 5 played each other.
Yeah, but like, there's nothing that's like geek teams. Like, I would love that. Like, I know TMG has talked about it, and Kevin, if you're out there, you need to get on this. I want to play geek teams. Like, I will come fully out of retirement and play on a team if I can. If I can find a good partner, I totally will. And I'll prepare and study and everything.
Do you want to talk about the specifications of this Untitled Geeks thing?
Yeah, I didn't get to watch their stream today.
Okay.
But
let's talk about it a bit. So my match with Coho aired the number one contender match.
Yes.
I won.
Yes.
I did. So I'm playing Joe in the final for the title.
Yeah.
Because of that, because of either he or I are the champion and the number one contender, we were removed from this.
Yes.
So it was the next 8 people ranked below me, with the 8 people with the 8 best contenders from the GCCs that they had aired.
Yeah.
And they're teaming them up so that the teams can play each other. And then once that round robin is completed, the team who's left will play each other, and whoever wins that will then play the champion, either me or Joe. So here's how the teams ended up. And we can take bets on this of who you think. There are some killer teams on this, we'll just say. Antonio Chavez is with Devontae King.
Ooh.
Ryan Payne is with my cohort in my faction, Tyler Birch.
Okay.
Brittany Tapley, rookie extraordinaire, is with Eli McKeag. Mark Kmeyer, who just had a match against Brandon Dunlap where he went perfect in the match, is with Alex Martinez.
Yeah.
Coho is with Kangaroo Jake Marangoni.
Ooh.
That's a scary team. Mike Shea is with my dummy teammate, Jake Meltzer. Nico, Cosmic Night Fury, is with Spence, Adelaide. And then finally, David Garcia is with RJ.
Okay.
There are 8 teams there. I could legitimately see 6 of those 8 winning the thing.
Which of the 8 are so?
I'm not going to say it.
Oh, I think I have one.
Okay.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. You remember the teams as I outlined them?
Yep.
Okay.
It's
a fair guess. And
then the fact that, like, I don't know enough about either of the Jakes. Marangoni.
I mean, Jake is with me and we're playing for a fandom title.
Yeah, like, I don't know enough about Jake.
About Australian Jake, or as some people call him, English Jake, which is funny.
Yeah, I don't know enough because, like, I didn't. Outside of fandom, I didn't think either one of them played. Geek.
Oh, Jake's like Marangoni is in Full Metal Geek, and he's like 1-5, but that record is horribly skewed.
Yeah,
he is a very good geek player, on top of being a killer
singles
and teams player.
Yeah, like,
people shouldn't be that good. And I'm speaking as someone who's fairly decent at both. But
like,
it shouldn't be that good. It's gross.
And I know, Meltzer is great at fandom. I don't know what the difference. Like, I've only ever played the GCC, so I don't know really what is all different in Ontol than regular, like, TM.
I mean, Ontol is comparable to TM Geek.
Okay, then
there are differences in the movies, but it's comparable.
And I know Nico made an announcement in TMG that his next loss, he's stepping away.
Yes, and that's something else that we can talk about because that also aired, but we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. Which good luck, Nico. He's going to become a professional wrestler. so that's awesome. As a person who I love wrestling, go get it.
Yeah, no, all the power to you for following your dreams.
Yep. Like movie trivia, we'll be here waiting for you, man. And then, like, what in the world is happening with Full Metal Geek? Like, I looked at their channels and then it released a match in 3 months.
That's RJ, and RJ's always busy with his studies. So that it's all based on him and when he gets done. So that's what happens when you have a single point person who hosts stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's.
I just assume that doesn't exist anymore. I know it does because I mean there are big heavy hitters in it, but I just kind of throw that to the side.
Yeah, and then I assume Nick won in multiplex.
You mean for the fandom title? Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he KO'd Mark.
Yeah, I didn't even watch the match because I was like, I'm pretty confident
Nick missed like one question.
Yeah, like
he missed one and he had to go to multiple choice a couple times for round 2, but he swept rounds 3 and 4.
Honestly, I think he is the best player to ever come out of the fan leagues.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's him or Parker for Geek. And yeah. I've never seen them play. I think Parker was gone by the time Nick showed up, I think.
Yeah, and then I guess it has to be in singles, it has to be Marisol, right?
Or Chance or Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
There's people who play now who are pretty good. Caleb Boatman is pretty good at stuff. I mean,
he's the Untitled singles champion, right?
No, Jake Marangoni or Jake Meltzer is right now.
Okay, because I know he won the belt from
Caleb won the belt from Jake. Cameron Holtzman won the belt from Boatman, and Meltzer won the belt from Holtzman.
Okay,
so that's and then the Untitled singles tournament is designed to figure out who will play Jake next.
Okay, yeah. All right, that will be.
And Caleb Boatman is in that, so.
Yeah, I think because I know Caleb will never go into the Schmodown. He has said he refuses. So,
as someone who has fallen less and less and out of love, and more out of love with Schmodown, I understand that.
Yeah, like I still like obviously that's where everyone would like to go. I mean, that's
if the Schmodown was more like it used to be.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot Adam Collins.
Yeah, Collins you can throw in there too.
Those are the 3 that have won the singles title from the fan leagues: Marisol, Paul, and Adam.
And maybe Chance.
Well, Chance's teams like.
Yeah, but I mean, he's that match airs in a week or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's taped in a week. Yeah, so it's there's potential there.
Yeah.
That will have.
I mean, if Chance does that, and Chance was a 3-time teams champ, 2-time teams champ, the singles champ, and contended for the Inner Geekdom belt, it's pretty gross, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he'll. But like, I think, yeah. If Nick ever went. I think he might.
Nick would destroy everybody if he wanted to.
Yeah, like the fact that I assume that he just didn't apply, or
I mean, he's a showrunner of fandom, and I think he doesn't want to. You know, I don't think he wants to make that jump. I don't think that appeals to him.
Yeah, like
a little bit I know about Nick Tuick.
Yeah, he's a really cool dude. And like I hate that because if you're in the Schmodown or if you're in the FCL, you can't play in the fan leagues.
I think it's stupid. I don't understand the point of it, but
like, and there's gonna be people like next season, I think, that are gonna get demoted to the FCL.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I think honestly, like, I don't want to say it because I hope it doesn't happen, but I think Christina, there's a good chance she gets demoted down.
It's possible,
especially with the factions only having 5 people.
And that, yeah, I mean, that's more than likely, yes.
Yeah, like unless she's
5
able
people
to form
total.
Yeah, 5 people total.
Do you think then we'll see more of an emphasis on people who cross pollinate?
I think it because I know Christian wants to do more storylines, which you can't really do with the faction thing. And now that they're doing in studio stuff and all that, they can do that more. So I'm like, hey, yeah, because like he has said that he has hated the last two years because he wrote it as storylines meet trivia. So like,
Oh, I feel so bad for him.
yeah, which I mean, honestly, I've watched more matches the last 2 years, but I have enjoyed it less.
Yeah.
Because like before, I would watch the matches because there was some kind of story involved. And now it's just people in front of their computers doing trivia.
No, I mean, that's not what misappeals to me. I trivia is what I come for. It's not the storylines. It's how I liked the rawness of it. I liked how they asked questions. I liked how production was put on, and I mean like in front of the camera,
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with storylines for me. I could give a shit, honestly. So that's if they're gonna go to more of that, they're gonna will me less and less away from it. But that's fine. I'm one person, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and like honestly, like unless I know someone who's in the match, like I don't watch fan league stuff. Like I watch all of your stuff because me and you are friends.
Thank you.
I watch anything that Anthony produces because me and him are friends.
So you watch all the Ontel stuff.
Yeah, I try to at least click on it and make sure it gets my view because he deserves it because Anthony's an awesome person. And like I watch your guys' multiplex stuff because he's your manager essentially.
Yes.
So like I want to support.
Essentially, he is my manager.
Yeah. I know it because I know it was supposed to be Christina.
Yeah, she was. She was my manager for one fandom match.
Yeah, and then she got drafted.
Got called up.
Yep, and so like
I think honestly, and it has nothing to do with Christina. I like Christina a lot. It's just I think Anthony plays more to the kind of manager I need. So I was actually happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, and I think like I want TMG teams or Team MG or whatever they're calling it to freaking get back because I want to have another match with Anthony because he always like I never knew anything, but he would always like send me stuff and be like, "Hey, this is real, so study these 5 movies," and I'd be like, "Okay, cool," or "Hey, this is our strength. Go watch all of these."
Point of order here, real quick. I have to interrupt you. You talked about a couple weeks ago that we almost wore the same Punisher shirt.
Yes.
We're wearing the same Star Wars shirt right now.
Really?
Yes.
Man, okay.
I hate this. I saw you lift up and I was like, great, we're wearing the same shirt. That's freaking awesome. I wore it in anticipation that we would be talking to somebody of ill repute, of repute in Star Wars Schmodown, but whatever.
Yeah, I also, for the exact same reason, like I had showered. I put this on at like 7:00 this morning to take my sons to school, and then me and my wife were gonna go to eat breakfast. And then as I got to the restaurant, Thomas texted me and was like, "Yeah, I can't do this tonight."
That's okay. Can we get to the TMG stuff since you started talking about TMG stuff? Because there's a couple big things that happen.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Like I've been waiting to get to this because, yeah, like we talked about it. And I don't want to say anything like they're my parent channel here.
Yes.
It kind of pisses me off.
Okay. Yeah. So let's talk about the first thing, which is what you're talking about, which is the TM Geek tournament, which is the right to play. As we know, Joe Fairley undefeated Joe Farrelly for the title. 16-person tournament. They did cut it down this year. They have playing matches. We have the seating. We have the whole thing of how it's set up. I'm gonna try to remember who everybody's playing. If you have the bracket up, or if you remember,
I do have the bracket up.
Okay, so Ryan Payne is the number 1 seed. He's playing Abel Dulu, who won a play-in match.
Yep.
As the 1 to 16. Under that, we have Dr. Spachemin, Alan Shepard, playing my compatriot Tyler Birch in the 8-9. Under that, it was supposed to be Alex Martinez playing McLovin, Noah McCausland, but Alex is not going to be in the TMG tournament, so he conceded his spot to Mr. Jay Burns, the fiery one.
Yeah.
Under that, it's Brittany is the 4.
No.
Kaiser. Oh, sorry, Kaiser. My new faction compatriot Kaiser is playing who?
Sean
is playing Sean Hunter. Yeah, not from Boy Meets World, Sean Hunter, but
correct.
And then I'm under that, I think, as the 2 seed.
Yep.
I am playing the other play-in match. You were talking about this. Nico's next loss, and that is his last one. I am playing Nico as the 2 to 15. So my expectation is his next loss will be to me.
Yeah, so you're going to have turned heel, pushing Nico out of the league.
No, my turning heel is I expect to win, as I've beaten him before this league.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
2 to 15, and then under that is
David Malcolm.
Oh yeah, that's right. David Garcia. David Garcia, who went to the semis last year, who won a number 1 contenders match and played Joe Farrelly for the title, is the 7 seed. He's playing Malcolm Lay as the 10 seed.
I don't know how Malcolm got 10.
He won like 2 matches in a row.
Did he? I thought he was only 1. I thought he was 1 and 3, but
he could be. I think it's points scored plays a lot into this.
It could, because I'm sitting here thinking, looking at the thing and being like, I wish I had not. There's moments where I'm like, I'm glad I stepped away, but at the same time, I wish I hadn't, because I don't want to play David. That would just be a loss for me.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could beat Brittany. I know I definitely could not beat Antonio. He KO'd me. But there's people on this list that I'm like, hey, I can beat them.
Yeah, you could probably want a play-in match.
Yeah,
probably could want a play-in match to play Ryan or me. If you want.
Yeah, I'm just thinking I don't know. There's definitely people on here that I think.
All right, let's do the rest of it. So Brittany's playing whom?
Andrea.
Because there's 2 women in it and they have to play each other. And then Antonio's playing Devontae?
No, Richard Schwartz.
Oh, he's playing Mr. Carefree.
Yep.
And then did I miss one, or is that it? That's it.
That's all of them.
That's it. Okay. So they had the thing where you can decide on who's going to win the bracket. I know somebody, I think Maddie Graham put the final as me and Jay, which would be hilarious. I think that would be great if that ended up. I hate my road through this. I think I got screwed personally. I was the 4 seed last year, and I played 1 match, and then I had to play David in the quarters. Guess what happens if I win the match against Nico? I get to play David in the quarters. So that's great. And then more than likely, if I win that match, I probably play Brittany.
Yeah, I don't understand how Brittany is number 3.
It's because she hasn't lost, and she's put up a lot of points.
But yeah, she's still only, 2-0?
2-0, but she hasn't lost, and she's scored a lot of points.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you think despite how mad I was at how that title shot had went at 4-2 with 3 TKOs, that you would think I would be the 1 seed. I'm not.
Yeah, like I think you should be the 1. I think David should be number 2.
No, I mean David has a 4-3 record. If you can make a case that Ryan should be 2 because he's 3-1 and he scored a bunch of points. You can make that case. The only person Ryan's lost to is the champion.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? And it was a good match too. So, I mean, that has to be taken into account.
Yeah,
I
and
think David should not be lower than 3 or 4.
yeah, I don't know how he's like. It's and like
Again, this is our parent, whatever. You know, they run it. I just I wanted them to do better at seeding for the tournament last year, but for some reason, I think like the seeding ended up being better last year.
it's typically like they got. Did they get the matchups? How a normal 16 seed bracket goes? It goes 1 and 16, right?
Yeah.
2 and 15.
Yeah.
It's then supposed to be 3 and 14, right? Yeah. Oh, but 3 should be on the opposite side.
No, 3. That's how it works. They got the seeding, how it is they messaged out the seedings and how it is they're set up. They got that right.
Okay.
No, that's not a problem. The problem is how some people were seated, and how it connects to me because it's all about me.
Yeah, like they should totally like Jay should not be number 5.
I mean that they didn't want to rejigger the whole thing.
Yeah, like and like he's never played for TMG, so like that doesn't.
No, he is the current. I think he's the geek champion in Jote. If I have that correct, I think he is.
Yeah, like he
and Necronomicon in fandom played for titles 3 times, so it's not like Jay is no slouch.
Yeah,
it's just a weird thing to do. Is all.
Yeah, like if you wanted to go with Alex gets to choose his replacement.
Yeah.
But that replacement, if they don't have a record, should go in at number 16. Technically.
You would think.
But yeah, like
would I prefer it if that had happened and people moved up? I mean, it wouldn't help my playing Brittany in round 3 probably, but it would move David to the other side. I would be happier in my life. Would I be happier if I was like the 4 seed and I got to be on that side of the bracket? Absolutely. I wish I was the 4 seed this time.
Yeah.
I'd be much happier.
Well, I mean, or if you were just number 1 like you're supposed to be.
No, I'd have to play Tyler in the second round. I wouldn't be happy about that either.
Yeah. But
I don't know what will happen on that side of the bracket. My guesstimate for how this tournament will go, it'll be an all rookie final. That's my guess.
You think so?
Yep. That's my guess.
So also like I know it's
Tyler versus Brittany in the finals. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think.
Don't you dare!
Yeah, I'm not cursing you.
Don't do it.
I'll curse Brittany. No, I'm not going to do that either. That's horribly mean. Honestly, I want to see Andrea win just because I know Antonio will win, and then we'll have an assassin battle.
Hmm.
And, like, I think that's so funny that they both have the name Assassin.
Yeah, they really should fix that. That should be allowed.
Like, Rue didn't have a nickname in the fan leagues, and now he is the assassin in the Schmodown.
When I auditioned for the Schmodown, because I was going in as the ghost, and I know that Andres can't remember his last name. He hasn't played since that beginning against Collins, I think.
Yeah, like Gallagher or whatever.
Galarraga, I think, is what it is. Okay. I said I would take the namesake so that I could have it, but I don't think he's in the league anymore. So
yeah, yeah, that's so weird. Like, but they should totally like. I don't want to say that because like Antonio would absolutely destroy Andrea, and that's no good.
Andrea's good at what she's good at. We'll say that.
Yeah.
Who do you think's going to be in the final? What do you think's going to be the final?
Well, I don't want to say.
Say if you think it's going to be me, just say it.
Okay, I think it's going to be you and Kaiser.
Oh,
to be honest, like
that would be interesting.
I don't think like all of his matches have been really good. His free for all performance was not the best.
No, so he had like just woken up.
Yeah, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think he's gonna do it. I don't think honestly, like maybe because I know this is related to like a sports thing, and you got to. I don't like I understand why Brittany's in the tournament, but if I was her, I would not have been in the tournament
because she has the shot because she won the Geek for All.
Yep, because this is just extra stress that you have to deal with.
She gets a tougher record.
Yeah, but like, let's say
it'd be weird if she played Joe and she was 2-0. I think it'd be weird.
No, I think that would be okay because at least she's still undefeated. But if she loses, let's say if she loses to Antonio, that kills her momentum.
I don't think she would worry about that.
But or if she since she's involved with so many other leagues, if she loses somewhere there, it might affect her here.
I will say the way that they set up this tournament, the second rounds can be very, very good.
Yeah,
I think Tyler versus Ryan and Kaiser versus Jay, or even Noah, because Noah's not bad. If he gets Wizarding World, he could win that match for sure. And then me versus David and Brittany versus Antonio.
Yeah,
those are pretty good quarters if it worked out that way. Obviously, weird things can happen, but go chalk. That's how chalk would set up.
So, not including obviously yourself. You don't include yourself in this.
Okay.
If someone, who do you think would have the biggest shot of taking on Joe out of everyone who's playing right now?
Brittany.
Yeah.
But now she already has that, so I'm going to take her out of it too.
The next thing about that is at least they're on the same life schedule because they're both from Britain, right?
She's Canadian.
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought she was from England. Okay.
No, she doesn't have an accent.
Man, all right.
She's Canadian.
Okay.
No, they're not on the same schedule.
Man, I was gonna be like,
funny if Kaiser played Joe because of how weird the time schedule would be for them. No, I also think if I take myself and Brittany out of it because she already has the shot, I would say Tyler.
Oh, okay. That's the reason why. Because I'm not going to say where she's from on the internet, but where she's from is also a place in England. So I just I've always associated that, but it's new wherever. And
I know where that is. Yeah, I think I know.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I was like, hey, at least they'll be on the same schedule. But no, now that doesn't work as well, and it's less fun.
All right, so I think we bore this TM Geek tournament out to death. The other thing they did is they're doing a 32 person singles tournament in TMG, and I'm part of that. I weirdly got selected first on that wheel.
Is Anthony in that?
Anthony is in that as well.
Yes. Good.
He remembered playing one TMG singles match probably a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I was his manager in that match. I managed him to a victory against Malcolm Lay.
Yes.
I'll take it.
I played a 3-way match against Dan Skip Allen and Chadwick Webb, and I won that. So technically you could say I'm 2-0. But yeah, so that was a while ago as well.
Yeah,
I don't know how that's gonna work, but we'll see.
And then Yeah, because they haven't done anything for that, and you guys are gonna play. Did y'all beat Tony and them, right?
Who?
Dex X, Duo X Machina.
No,
Y'all
we
didn't?
lost. We
Oh,
lost at the end. We lost by like 2 points.
okay.
No, it's because I didn't remember that Vivian Lee plays Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire. They asked me the one thing about A Streetcar Named Desire I didn't know. If they would have asked me where this quote came from, I would have been able to say A Streetcar Named Desire. If they asked me the character, I would have known that. But they asked me the actress, and I did not know that. So that's why we lost. It was my fault. I take it upon myself.
Okay. And yeah, they haven't. They got a.
No, they have to do the three-way teams match for #1 contendership.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what that's gonna look like. No, TM Geek is the one consistent. They at least put on matches all the time.
So. Yeah, that's true. Like Kevin does a great job. Like.
Yeah, I give him a lot of credit. I mean, they don't edit, so that helps. But
yeah,
he's at least consistent to put out content. So give him a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, that's very true. Like, him and his fiance, like they work on it real.
Yeah, I mean, the production put into the Geek for All is very good.
Yes. Yeah, I can't imagine doing something like that. Nope.
Come on, dude. In your new network, when you start that up and it's running full circle.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Get right on it.
Yes. But yeah, I'm trying to think. There's nothing really else movie trivia that I can think of.
No, Full Metal, that ended. The title run ended. To be honest, I didn't watch it because I was so salty that I lost the #1 contender match. So I don't actually know who won between Brian and Joseph. Makes me feel bad, but whatever. And they haven't done a teams match in a bit. So Full Metal's kind of been a little bit on a hiatus, honestly, if you think about it. And then Multiplexes, I mean, they put out a match today. They're still doing their normal stuff after. Yeah. And they're still in the throes of their Warzone Teams tournament, I believe.
Yeah, and then hopefully your match.
That should air. Like I said, the title match, Knights of Ren Dummies.
Should air today.
They're 10-0. Can we take them down? It's a daunting task for sure.
And I'll go ahead and throw this out there. SuperNova Universe. I have refused to let him tell me if he won or not because I want to watch this match on today. Like I was so excited. Like you can my wife. She was like, why do you keep on playing on your phone? And I was like, I was just on their YouTube page, and every few minutes or like every 30 minutes, I would scroll up to get it to reload, and your match never popped up. And I was like,
well, I hope that did not strain your relationship. I honestly thought it would be that weekend, but it's definitely going to be. There's confirmation on the Facebook page that it is this weekend. And if you look at the poll, Knights of Ren is up on us 14-8.
Oh, well, it's about to be 14-9. So
okay,
I got you, buddy.
Okay, thank you. I wanted it to be. We always do the thing where in the faction we try to make it lopsided for the other person. So sometimes that we'll vote against the faction just to make it like real stark,
Yeah.
But we're not doing that in this case. Not fully.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's.
I think we can put the movie trivia. I think we did like 40 minutes on that, honestly.
Yeah, I do believe so.
Yeah, I think we put that to bed. We wrung that one dry.
All right. So what if? And guess what? I'm gonna put a spoiler tag up there. Hey, guess what? If you ever watched What If episode 8, what are you doing with your life? Go out there and watch it. It was super good. I have so many things to say about it, but I don't want to say it if you're still here. Okay, you went and watched it, right?
Yeah, do it.
Now you back. Okay, this was the best episode.
Probably.
Like,
I can't say for sure. I know a lot of people have not liked how it's gone, and I know a lot of people just kind of brought them back for sure.
which, like, so last week's episode where Ultron came through the portal and he had the Infinity Stones, I was just like, huh, I wonder how they're going to explain that. But I just figured, oh, it's just going to be like how Thanos became a zombie. It's just going to be a one-off that we'll never see. And then this episode, they have and I'm like, now, of course, I have seen the meme everywhere of why did Vision not just cut Thanos in half when he had the chance?
Yeah, that's of this episode. That part is the part I still don't understand the most.
And now, granted, there are a few scenes where, like, I'm like, Ultron, how are you doing the things that you're doing? Like, the scene where he bites the universe in half.
I love that.
Yes.
It looks so cool.
He looked like Galactus.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, oh, he's like Galactus. That's cool.
But also, like, it might be that the MCU just disobeys its own rules, or
they
rules.
Try not to, but sometimes they do. Yes.
But the Infinity Stones are not supposed to work outside of the universe in which they operate.
Yeah.
So him passing through the multiverse, his stones shouldn't work, which means the Watcher. So the Watcher should be able to, like, take him down. But also, like,
I thought it was weird that he didn't. Honestly.
Like, and the one thing, like, you can see his new body is made of vibranium.
Yeah.
Like, that's obvious, and I love it because in Endgame they just put the stones in Stark Tech, and I'm like, what was the point of Thanos going to Idri at Nidavellir to create this gauntlet?
Well, I mean, that's on Earth. I mean, he didn't want to go to Earth, so there's only so many places that have cool technology in the universe that he could get to without arousing suspicion.
But, like, since Stark's nanotech, it's not vibranium. So if just any random technology can use the power of the Infinity Stones, would he go through all that?
I mean, how long's Endgame? 3 hours and 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
They couldn't add more time to explain.
Well, they could have at least mentioned, like, a 1 minute scene of Thor saying, yeah, I went to Nidavellir, made this new they used the exact same technology to make this new gauntlet. And then it just looks like the regular Infinity Gauntlet instead of it being a Stark.
Or if he lied to Steve about only having one vibranium shield and he had another one and he melted that down and made a gauntlet.
Like, anything would. So I liked that the suit that he had was vibranium because I'm like, that's possibly I mean, it's not the strongest metal in the universe because we know Uru is stronger, but it's at least comparable there. So I like that. But yeah, like, the fact that, like, he gets the Infinity Stones and then he realizes, hey, there's more people out there, and, like, he kills the Guardians, which makes me wonder how Thanos got the Soul Stone if he didn't sacrifice Gamora. And then, like, he destroys Xandar, which makes me think, how did he get the Power Stone if he didn't destroy Xandar? But that's all.
In a different place. He went to Morag. It probably never ended up on Xandar.
Yeah, because it could be totally a different thing. But like, so all those, like, little nerd moments, I'm like, hey, it's only supposed to be, like, one change in the universe, and the change is Ultron got into the Vision body. That's supposed to be the only change.
So that's the other part I don't like about this episode. You know, sometimes they explain the what if part of it fairly, and it's obvious. This one, they were like, well, the Avengers just didn't get the body. And I looked at my wife and I was like, what happened? They just took the day off that day? They're just like, no, we're not doing it. I wanted like 30 seconds more of explanation of how they didn't get the body.
Yeah.
It just seemed like that was a very, very critical part that they missed. and maybe they should have checked that at the door. But whatever.
Yeah, but I really like the episode. I like that it shows that the Watcher isn't all powerful.
Yes.
And like I like the fact that Ultron could see him because of the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
But Strange could see him because he was just so powerful as Strange Supreme. And then at the end of the episode, Strange Supreme shows up and is like, "Hey, I'll help you."
I want to hear you say it. Which is why that's my tag.
Yes. Yeah. I don't want to take the spoiler down for our numerous handful of fans out there. But yeah, which definitely leans into my theory about No Way Home.
I told my wife about your theory, and I said this episode, more so than anything I had seen, more connects to what you're saying. Probably.
Yeah, because again, like in this episode, he has the Eye of Agamotto, and he's evil, and he's gonna make some kind of agreement to where he could go to the regular Marvel universe and be like, "Hey, there's my love. Oh, and crap, I have to just defeat this other Strange to get her." And yeah, like I could totally see that being a thing, and I'm totally cool with it because, like, I know when the trailer came out, I thought I thought it was Eddie Brock or
Topher Grace.
Yeah, I thought Topher Grace was the one saying whatever the line is about Parker.
Yeah.
And then I've watched it a few more times. It's Benedict Cumberbatch. So I don't think like our Doctor Strange wouldn't call him just Parker.
No, it seems weird.
But an alternate reality, evil Doctor Strange, who might be verging on Mephisto territory, might actually do that.
Could be.
So one that's destroyed the Watcher of the Universe after whatever, or after next week's What If episode.
You think that's what it is? You think they stop Voltron? They can't say Voltron. I guess but it's Voltron.
Yeah. Honestly, because I know we still have that shot where it's the Avengers lineup, but they're around the.
Yeah. We haven't had that episode yet.
Yeah. We still have that shot, but it's Agent Carter.
Yeah.
And then Gamora with the double blades, and then whatever. So I think Doctor Strange will be like, "Hey, fork over your power to manipulate the universes. I'll go get these other Avengers," and then will be his way of he'll tie the universe back together and have all this power and not give it back up.
Okay.
There
are a couple of things I noticed I liked about the episode, and I didn't. You mentioned if Thanos had 5 Infinity Stones, how did Vision Ultron just cut him in half? I don't understand. I thought it was one of those reality mind Fs at first, and then they're like, "Nope, he's just dead." And I was like, "Oh, why?"
Yeah, like I don't know if it's maybe that Vision was just so weak at that time because he had just been killed by Scarlet Witch. So maybe it's being brought back with the Time Stone that he was just groggy or something. But just the thought that he could have potentially done that is insane.
Yeah. Maybe they should have done all they could to keep him healthy.
Yeah.
Or fix the blade injury he got in Scotland. I wish they had brought James Spader back. I kind of felt like that was a missing opportunity. And then when they did Vision, I was like, "Oh, why didn't Paul Bettany do it?" And then I remembered the reason why is because they didn't upload Jarvis into him, so he wouldn't sound like Paul Bettany. And I was like, okay, at least they're thinking about that, so that's good.
Yeah, I actually I thought the entire time that it was James Spader until I got to the credits because he sounded.
It was Ross Marquand who did who was Red Skull in Endgame and Infinity War.
Yeah, and he does a great job impersonating other actors.
If you've ever watched, like, he did a thing for Esquire, I think, on YouTube, where he does like 5-second celebrity impressions, and he does a bunch of them. He's really good at doing impressions.
Yeah,
I know him very well for doing The Walking Dead. He's been on The Walking Dead for 6 seasons or whatever, but his impressions are great. Him as a comedian is great.
Yeah, I'm very excited for next week's episode.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are more excited now because now there's an interconnectedness to these stories as opposed to them feeling just like one-offs. I think people like interconnected stories. I think as much as people say they like anthologies, I think people like interconnected stories.
Yeah, like I wonder how many of the people from the previous episodes will show up in this next week's episode. Like, obviously, Captain Carter, and then a weird version of Gamora that we haven't seen yet. Yeah. But are we going to see Star-Lord, T'Challa, or...
wasn't he only supposed to do 3, and he's done his 3?
Oh, maybe he has.
Yes, he was in 2, he was in Zombie, and he was in another one that I can't remember. He was in the Killmonger one.
Yeah.
So I think he did his 3. I think he's done. I think that's it.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of, because obviously, like Steve from the first episode, he would be too old, so he couldn't climb back into the Ironmonger suit. So we won't see him.
Yeah.
I don't think unless we see Scott with the cape, just in the headless jar Futurama style. I don't think we'll see anyone from Zombies.
Okay.
You
don't think we could see a one-legged T'Challa?
Well, for the same reason
as Spider-Man.
Yeah, we could see Spider-Man potentially. Which, like, so I've seen a bunch of memes that were like, Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, like he's down in his basement and he has all the suits.
Yeah.
So there's the Doctor Strange suit with the cape down there. And someone was like, there's that. And then there's the suit from Spider-Man PS4. And I'm like, I wonder if they just thought of this stuff, knew that it was going to happen. Because obviously this is not a Sony project. Or did Marvel just be like, hey, they made this idea for Into the Spider-Verse, so we'll put it in our animated thing for 1 second and have him wear the cape just so it could connect, because we're nice like that. Because obviously, like PS4, like that was being developed when Into the Spider-Verse was being developed. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense that the white spider suit, they would feature that in there as like an Easter egg. But the other one doesn't make a whole lot of sense unless it's Marvel being like, hey, we saw what you did there. Hey, we're going to copy that. Cool. But yeah, like, I really like the episode. I am really excited for next week's episode. Like,
really. Why wouldn't you be excited? It's interesting stuff now.
Yep. And then, like,
interesting in a greater context. I liked most of these episodes, but it's interesting in a greater context for how this will coordinate to what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, and I like that they're keeping the multiverse, like...
Yeah, they're leaning into multiverse heavy.
Yes, and which, I mean, Loki does that, so, like, I don't know what time frame, like, if they could make a second season of this show, because I think Loki will wrap up well, I think Doctor Strange, too, will wrap up the multiverse stuff, but...
No, I think Loki will. I think Loki will happen after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. But it's going to be interesting. Like, next week's episode, like, this week's episode was only 30 minutes with the credits. So, like, as we were getting close, I was like, I wanted to go more. But then I was like, more and more, I think, I am totally right about it being Evil Strange, and I love it.
But, well, I'm holding out hope for you, buddy, that you're going to be right on this one.
Yeah. Like I don't think. I mean, they could introduce a concept like this and it not be a thing because they may not want. Hey, to force people to have watched the cartoon to understand what's going on why there is an evil Strange. But it could be a thing where they just show that, hey, no, this Strange was evil. Hey, and then he explained his backstory in No Way Home, and then it's like, oh, hey, we have this catalog here. You can watch these 3 episodes with him in it, and this is his backstory of what he did before the movie. Woohoo! But yeah, yeah, I'm interested. Like,
Yep, they still got me too. Still looking forward to it.
Yep. I hate that there's only going to be one more episode because then we're going to have to find something else to talk about. We'll figure it out. We'll
figure that one out.
Yep. I mean, and I guess, do you have any final thoughts or?
No, I said everything I wanted to say.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Clint Barton, Robot Arm Man.
Yeah. I loved the joke. Need a hand? I was like, that's such a dad joke, Natasha. That's such
she said she wasn't gonna say that.
Yeah. But and like now I'm wondering, like, I really don't think we're gonna get Scarlett Johansson in anything.
No, I think that's done.
Because they settled with her today.
Oh, they did?
Yep.
Disney should have settled as soon as it became a thing. I don't know why. I don't know why they toyed around with anything.
But yeah, they settled with her, and so I doubt she'll want to come back, and I doubt they'll want her to come back. But so far, like the woman who's been playing her in these,
Lake Bell is very good at mimicking her voice, and I'm a Lake Bell fan. She's been good in a lot of things. So
yeah. But yeah, all right. So as of
we're at that time.
Yeah, as of
around our friends as we say goodbye.
Yes, unfortunately, we gotta go at some point.
Yeah.
My kids, as of recording, have not seen the first Venom movie, so I rented it on Amazon so they can watch it because as of recording, Saturday we are going to go see Venom 2.
Ooh.
So
Venom, come get him again.
Yep, and yeah, so that's gonna be fun. So yeah, like I messaged you earlier about it. Like, so if you go see it, we'll talk about it in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think there's quite a potential that I will go see it next week.
Yep. So yeah, if we
there's something else very important in this household that we have to watch first, though. Do you know what that is?
Oh, the Sopranos prequel. Yep. I remembered. You told me.
Yep. That's a little bit more important to my wife and I after binging the show when she bought it for me for Christmas. So it's a little bit more important than Venom.
Yeah, I have never seen the show.
I can't recommend it enough.
Okay. I know a lot of people hate the ending.
I mean, that's the only thing I knew going in. I knew a couple things here and there, but I tried not to let that sway me. And I was eagerly anticipating as we got 4 episodes left, 3 episodes left. I was like, oh man, we're getting to the ending. Getting to this ending. Got to see how it coordinates to everything that's happened so far.
Yeah, because
and the ending gets a bad rap now.
Yeah, and like, I'll definitely watch it. I'm trying to think if it's streaming on anything.
Pretty sure it's on HBO Max, but
okay, then I will definitely watch it at some point.
My YouTube TV, they did an HBO like weekend thing, and it came on, and she just put it on because it was on randomly because they were doing the marathon for the purpose of getting up to this prequel movie. And we watched a little bit of it. I was like, oh, it's so good. I remember. But yeah, can't recommend it enough. But that's a little bit more important for us. Plus, I'm in round 2 of the Untitled singles tournament, and I have deep cut movies to watch.
Yes. But yeah, thank you for being on the show. I always appreciate it. We'll find out, and probably in like 10, 20 minutes, I'll find out if I have to solo this show next week or if I can invite a guest. So that would be interesting.
Yes.
But yeah, I hope you have a great week. I hope you have a great anniversary. That's all.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to it. 3 years.
Ooh. I just crossed the 1 year.
Paper anniversary. I don't know what the 3-year anniversary is.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, thank you for coming on. I don't know if you have do you have anything you want to plug?
No, just watch that fandom team's title match. It's a good one. I'm proud of it, I guess. But I promised it last week. I uber promised it this week. Just watch that match. It'll be on the Multiplex YouTube channel.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely go out there and watch that. I'm going to. And you know, I'm a pretty cool guy. So if you are cool too, you should go watch Robert do his thing. And Jake Meltzer. Yep.
Against Tim Bracala and Nick Tuig.
Yes.
Absolutely. Two titans of geek trivia.
Yep. But yeah, just don't forget you can follow the show or myself at Colton Roberts 8, and you can follow the show at SuperNova_show. And you can find Robert on Facebook at Robert Kastner. Hit him up. He likes to talk movies and stuff. And yep.
It's fun.
Let's get out of here.
Don't forget to tip your virtual waitresses, everyone.